It's the Bethoney Builders podcast, featuring the Bethoney Builders crew, Chris Bethoney, Steve Burton, Christian Fourier, and Sophia Bethoney. Got questions? Text us at 781-837-4900. Now, here's your host, Sophia Bethoney.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bethoney Builders podcast. I'm your host, Sophia Bethoney, and I'm joined by my dad and our principal builder, Chris Bethoney.
Hey, Sophia, and hey, everybody listening. Excited to join you today.
We've got a special edition dad-daughter duo episode today.
Yes, we do, Sophia. We're going to take it, you and I, and all of our listeners. Let's make this a fun show here for the next 45 minutes.
Hey, let's do it. Let's talk about decks and additions. So what's the first step a customer should take if they're interested in a product like that?
I appreciate that, Sophia, and we're going to get into that, but let's do a little recap. Again, last week was a busy week. We returned from California, of course. We were blessed to do some coverage and some sports coverage, which was a lot of fun. But now we're going to focus solely on building here in the South Shore. But let's take a minute and talk about what we were able to do last Thursday over at the center, the former Senior Center here in Duxbury.
Oh, yeah. We got to visit the Duxbury Senior Center, and we actually did a presentation on ADUs, which are also known as accessory dwelling units.
Sophia, as you know, here in the South Shore and throughout Massachusetts, it's such a big topic. You know, I think the biggest thing that we've run into with now speaking to some different groups and here on the podcast is that folks are still coming up to speed, which is completely understandable, on what exactly is an ADU or accessory dwelling unit. And even folks that have now come up to speed to understand after maybe seeing some things online or visiting a build out, even a Bethoney Builders project that's in place as far as ADUs, but still a lot of questions for everybody. And where that starts from is that while the legislation is in place for a by right use up to 900 square feet of additional living space for additional living opportunities for everybody, municipalities have had the input based on their communities and their needs on different terms and conditions to be able to permit them. They're making some great strides, but it's a work in progress. Folks have questions like, town sewer versus septic systems, and if so, am I tying into my existing septic system or creating an independent septic system? Things like that are a big deal, Sophia, and they do come with costs and questions for our homeowners.
Of course. But you know what the nice thing about those ADUs is that you can have them attached or detached, correct?
That's correct, as well as retrofitted in a basement area or in an attic. There's a lot of options. It's a great vehicle to try to find some housing solutions here in Massachusetts. And as without getting into zero politics about it, but it was mentioned, the goal was to get some legislation in place to get this process up and running, to create these opportunities where it makes it clear that everybody has that by right use. Now it's just a matter of working the logistics in each one of the communities here in the South Shore. Shout out to the building departments and the municipalities. They're doing a great job trying to keep these projects moving, keep folks educated. But if you're willing to give us a call here at Bethoney Builders, our number, of course, is 781-898-8018. We'll work to help try to answer some of those questions. And if we can engage your services, we do offer a one-stop shop here, Sophia, where people can engage us and you get going on the designs.
Absolutely. And I truly believe that these ADUs are the future. Wouldn't you agree?
For sure. Well, I agree with that statement, as well as I agree that it's housing options for our future, which is, college young folks that are graduating college, going out to the housing market and finding that it's just simply too expensive and in some cases at this point unattainable for a lot of folks. Whether you're working in the trades, whether you're working multiple jobs, whether you come out of college schooling and engage potentially your first job, the cost of housing is simply too expensive. And like you said, I do believe this is the future. I think what's going to continue to happen too is additional housing options possibly creating things like cluster zoning or reducing lot sizes to help people have additional housing options. That's my personal opinion. I think that's where we're going, Sophia, here in Massachusetts.
And how long do these ADUs take to build?
Well, you know yourself because you've been part of many of them. You're now when you're up 16 to 20 of them you've been directly involved in. So ideally for a smaller unit, which could be something approximately 600 square feet, which would be a 1-bedroom, 1-bath living space, washer and dryer, whether it's stackable or side by side, those type of build outs from start to finish here at Bethoney Builders. Once we're able to put a shovel to the ground is a term. Once we're able to do that, we'd like to have a project like that completed within 60 to 75 days.
That is true. I've seen it.
Yes, and at that timeline, we do multiple units. It's not uncommon that we could finish anywhere from 2 to 4 units within that 60 to 75-day window. I'm increasing it to 75 days due to time of year, Sophia. When the weather's mild and we're not fighting some of the weather logistics out in the field, we like to be able to complete them in and around 60 days. But we're allowing a couple of weeks because, as we know up here in New England, and for what we've all seen between, the temperatures like today, which are, sub, freezing weather or things like that, things tend to take a little longer in the cold weather.
I completely agree. And on that note, we have a caller.
We do. Okay, have no idea who that is, but Jesse, can you bring someone through?
I can. We have Jerry on the line. Hello, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh, is that, this isn't just any, is this Big G?
Big G.
It's Big G. It's Big G. How we doing today, guys?
We're doing fantastic. Big G, Alina had sent, in fact, a link for a Zoom where you're welcome to join us front and center. But at this point, that's okay. We're going to run with you on the telephone. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. Getting back from the Super Bowl, obviously, and I had a fantastic time out there with all of Radio Row and the podcasts and meeting everybody. It was a fantastic time with, obviously, you and Sophia and Olena and everyone that we met.
Absolute
so it's
blessing,
been great.
Jerry.
It was great.
Absolute blessing to join you,
Absolute
Jerry.
blessing, for sure.
Unbelievable. A once-in-a-lifetime trip. How much fun was Radio Row? And ultimately, we had a great time at the Super Bowl. Of course, the score wasn't what we wanted, but, we cannot be disappointed. That was an incredible season.
It was an incredible experience in
Fantastic
itself.
season. It was for sure.
What did you take away from that experience, Jerry?
Well, a number of things. One, I think the team young, right, and a lot of bright future ahead of us from that perspective. Mm-hmm. We learned a few areas where we need to fix the line and a few other things. But you know what? Young team, going to get better, and it was a great experience to be back into the mix for that. I think on, the podcast side, I think it was amazing to walk around all of Radio Row with the fam and hearing what people have to say, hearing what other parts of the country have to say. The fans from Seattle, fans from San Francisco, from all over, right, and broadcasters from all over the world. Actually, I know we met a number of people from Australia, from South America. So it was amazing to do that, and it was great to see just the interaction among those in the industry who are doing podcasts and having sports. And, I don't think there are many people doing building and sports at the same type of show. Obviously, I think we're very unique from that perspective, but the whole experience, unforgettable for sure.
Well, Jerry, it was funny because it was extremely humbling to go through Radio Row and have, I know our podcast was brought up before, 98.5, the Sports Hub members there, they were familiar with us. We ran into a bunch of people that were from Massachusetts as a whole, folks from out in the Worcester area. Shout out Pat Patriot. Right. Folks were aware of the Bethoney Builders podcast. We were able to, they wanted pictures. It was about as humbly as can be. We know we love our fan base here in the South Shore at WATD 95.9 and all of our friends, family, and people that are now following us. Jerry, I could not believe that, folks from the major media networks involved in sports and building were aware of the Bethoney Builders podcast here in Duxbury, Mass.
Right.
How cool is that?
Exactly. was incredible. It was very cool.
Mm.
Very cool.
Unbelievable. So shout out to everybody. That all goes to our fan base, Jerry. Of course, here in the South Shore, it originates, and then now through Massachusetts. Thank you very much for listening. If you happen to be out there, we hope you find that it's, number one, informative. Number two, a lot of fun. And again, it's not about us. It's about supporting our community and everybody that's a part of it.
For sure. For sure.
So let's get back to
and now we have a great
here.
topic, ADUs. Let's get back to ADUs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I
we
mean,
have
I've been listening since the...
Jerry, I'm going to jump ahead of you a little bit because we're going to get back to ADUs. It's been exciting, but we got a couple announcements. I want to get it out there, and it's that time of year, and it involves you and Sophia. So here's what we've decided to do. As the principal builder here at Bethoney Builders, we have a deck challenge. We were fortunate to, with your hard work and efforts, engage the town of Weymouth, the Weymouth Wildcats, shout out to them, as well as the East Bridgewater Vikings, the high school and the grade schools, shout out to them. But we're now going to put a big push on. We want to earn some deck business in those communities and other communities where we reciprocate $500 per deck build, new construction deck build, to offset some of the costs and fees for the programs for students, whether it's athletics, whether it's a social club. We leave the school and the student body, the school and their directors on where they facilitate those resources. Our goal is that it's towards athletic fees, club fees, anything social for all the kids, everybody involved. But we got to get working on that, and we're going to promote that. I've decided Sophia is going to take lead with you, Jerry, and spearhead those efforts because we really want to ramp it up. We know that we started the program kind of at the end of the fall season, so it really just got the word out there. Didn't give it a chance due to the change of weather. But what do you think, Sophia? You're going to work with Jerry hard and let's secure some more decks throughout the South Shore in Massachusetts?
Oh, absolutely. And you get a deck while supporting a great cause, which is the best part of it.
Mm-hmm. Jerry, can you give us some insight on, you've spearheaded this project from the beginning, and what is your vision for 2026, and how can we secure more deck projects so we can support more of the kids here in the South Shore?
Yeah, it's getting the word out, right, which is one of the big things, right? And that's something that we've been working on with the school systems. I think now we're actually getting into the weather. That's right. I think everyone was focusing on holidays and, all those things that need to get done by the end of the year. Now's the time. So, we're certainly working with Weymouth. We're working with East Bridgewater. We're reaching out to a number of other school systems that have expressed interest. And it's a real easy program for the towns, right? It's any deck permit that gets pulled, money goes back to the schools for various programs at their discretion, which is fantastic. So I'm excited to get that push back on, and obviously working close with Sophia to get that done.
Mm-hmm. And not getting too personal, Jerry, but of course, shout out to Karen Levitt, who's involved in the school system and sees that there's a real impact, Jerry, when we're able to drive these resources to help the kids. They do an amazing job at our school systems, but we know every little bit helps. And if we can really get these decks cranking, I've negotiated, I believe, to get not only Trex, but whoever's supplying the deck. We are working with Koopman's Lumber. They've been great. I'm going to reach out to our vendors and see if they'll match, at which they've shown interest to increase that from a $500 per deck, to try to increase that as much as threefold per deck project, which would bring it up to about $1,500 per
That's fantastic.
deck, per permitted deck build in those communities. So now with $1,500, I think each project could probably help upwards of 3 to 4 kids and their families to offset these expensive fees, which are necessary because it's just a sign of the time, guys.
Oh, so come support the Bethoney Builders Deck Challenge.
Yeah, Bethoney Builders Deck Challenge 2026. You can reach out to us at 781-898-8018. Not only will we build you a top shelf deck by certified deck builders, working with Trex products and other lumber suppliers and so forth, but what we will do is Jerry and Sophia, Jerry Levitt, Sophia Bethoney, will spearhead this. Reach out to our office and let's get a deck built for your family as well as for a great cause.
I like the sound of that.
I love it. I love it. I get to work with the president. It's awesome.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes, when we talk president Sophia, actually, I'm grateful. Everybody calls the office. They want to say hello to Sophia and Alina because now both Sophia Bethoney and Alina Bethoney are licensed construction supervisors here in Massachusetts. So shout out to them. They, in fact, have been already certified in where they're at. But Bethoney Builders, of course, I'll maintain and continue to be the principal builder here and the individual in charge, as well as for now, Sophia is actually going to be the president of her own company. Sophia, what is your company, in fact?
Sophia Bethoney's ADU of Massachusetts.
And you're specifically from design, build, and now a licensed builder. You're in the game. Dad's going to stay on board with you for ownership of that company, for responsibility and things that take place. But you are the president. You're going to make the calls. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I like the sound of that.
There you go. So Sophia's getting just as many calls, Jerry, as we are back here at the office. And when they do call Bethoney Builders, they folks always have a nice word to say. I think they're inspired by a younger person at 18, really working hard towards a common goal. But Sophia, as she starts to do her ADUs, we're then going to reach out to her and challenge her when she does ADUs to find some of those resources to give back for a good cause here in the South Shore and throughout Massachusetts. So maybe, Big G, you can help Sophia identify some great causes.
Of course. Love to.
I'm very much looking forward to it.
What's Sophia? So what is your thoughts? What is your outlook for 2026? What's on the plate for Sophia Bethoney, who's now a licensed builder here in the Commonwealth?
I would say working on my company, ADU of Massachusetts, 2026 is going to be a big year for these accessory dwelling units. I can feel it. We're going to be building lots of them. I'm really excited. Obviously, we're going to be working on the Bethoney Builders podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and Facebook, by the way, if you haven't already.
Appreciate that.
And just working hard, obviously giving back to the community. As we said earlier, we're going to try to find some more good causes to give back to and just working.
Hey, Jerry, as you know, we don't sit back here at all at Bethoney Builders. I don't know. We start early, work late, and we're constantly creating. While we're focused on what we're working on, just opportunities come up, and we always want to keep it fresh and creative. So our listeners and our followers, we now want to work really hard this year on engaging our base, our folks that stay with us, help platform us to put us on the map, both as customers and as friends on the Bethoney Builders podcast, as well as Bethoney Builders and now ADU Massachusetts. Here's what we're doing, Jerry. We want to announce 2 platforms. If any of our listeners or watchers want to be more involved with the Bethoney Builders podcast in forms of advertising, being involved, having us bring their story forward, having them be part of what we're doing, we can help you platform your business. We can get you a little more involved. We want to make sure that this isn't all about watching us on a TV screen or listening to us on the radio. We want to make sure that we're backing up what we say. If somebody wants to help platform their business, whatever their small to mid-sized business may be, we're all ears. We will be very careful. We do have a vetting process to make sure that the company is doing a great job in the community, giving back where they can. There's some parameters that are important to us, and we want to keep those values in place as we bring them forward front and center on the Bethoney Builders podcast. But you call me direct. My name's Chris Bethoney, Principal Builder, Bethoney Builders. Again, our number, 781-898-8018. And I'm all ears. Again, and we'll see what we can do. Maybe you can be part of the Bethoney Builders podcast on air, which we've already helped a lot of businesses here in the South Shore, Sophia. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been tons of fun. And like you said, we're here to support other local businesses, not just ourselves. So feel free to reach out, 781-898-8018.
You want to give a shout out to our sponsors who took a chance on us early on and have been, every single one of them has been very pleased. And we've now created friendships as well as business sponsorships. Who would that be, Sophia?
We would like to thank Northeastern Savings Bank, Koopman Lumber, Trex Decking, Connor Hegney's Auto Detailing Services, 95.9 WATD, ADU of Massachusetts, and Bethoney Builders.
Bethoney Builders. That's how we rock and roll here out of Duxbury, Massachusetts. Jerry, tell us a little bit about what you're seeing. Knowing you're a professional realtor, can you give us a little insight of what you're seeing, market conditions, people looking forward to not only purchasing homes, but in fact, maybe staying put, renovating homes, adding on to homes? What are you seeing, Jerry?
Yeah, no, for sure, Chris. I think there's a number of factors involved, right? I think Sophia and you had talked about it earlier in the show. The ADUs are solving so many different issues for families that are trying to either pass generation, the house on to the next generation. How can they all, work for their children to get things done there? How can they move out of a house into first floor living? So there's a lot of different things that the ADUs are solving. There's a lot of problems that they're solving from that perspective. And we're seeing, obviously, you talked to a lot of folks, Sophia, you as well. And so we're seeing a lot of that. I think, in the past 6 months or so, from statistics I was hearing, there's been about between 1,200 to 1,600 ADU permits pulled in the state of Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
And that number, continues to grow. So I think, as we always talk about, right, from a communication and education perspective, as the word is getting out and as people understanding what they can do with ADUs and what they can do in their property and their rights, because it's a by right initiative that they have to do this, I think those numbers are starting to grow. So there's been a lot of conversations. I know in the past couple of weeks where I've talked to a couple folks, it's something that they've asked about, right? Like, what are our options from this perspective? So, yes, we continue to hear the word get out, and there's a number of different initiatives, right, in the state to try and get the word out, from permitting and ways to solve housing limitations. It just continues to grow.
Sure. Well, Jerry, I'll tell you one thing, and I actually, myself and Sophia, the dad-daughter duo here at Bethoney Builders in the South Shore, we were invited to speak at the center, the former senior center at Duxbury.
Yeah.
Great turnout, up or down approximately 40 people, give or take. And there was some professionals in the room, Jerry. There was some professional realtors. There was a lot of potential folks that are considering making that jump to commit to doing an ADU project, many of which have already reached out to us here at Bethoney Builders. But something that's very common is a few things. Number one, the folks that were there were not only from Duxbury, they were from neighboring towns in Duxbury, and the rules and regs and the procedure to go and to try to apply for permitting and secure permitting for these ADUs varies quite a bit from town to town based on location, whatever issues the town might have going on. Like a Situate has a lot of work they're doing on their water sources and town sewer and septic issues that they're working on with their homeowners, doing a great job, by the way. It just takes time, and there's definite large expenses involved that are translating over for folks that want to apply to secure a building permit for ADUs, as well as in that particular community, again, that does a great job. It's just that it's set up that you have to go, when you apply, the determination goes to the planning board, and their groups over there make decisions and then issue permits. If you do go to some other communities that are more inland, say a Hanover or Pembroke, which again, they do an incredible job there. This seem to be streamlining it a little bit more because I think they don't have those same concerns currently as far as the infrastructure improvements that are taking place on some of the coastal communities. So there's still a lot of questions. We've got to a point now, Jerry, where we've always been try to stay hands off for increased costs for our customer base, and have kind of let folks give them the option to go hire their own land surveyor, hire their own architects if they choose to. But we've now hit a point where customers are coming back that have tried that. They're finding when they try to navigate that process, it's becoming a little, in many cases, a little overbearing and a little frustrating for them. So we've decided here at Bethoney Builders, we're going to go with the one-stop shop approach with them. If you want to build one, you call us. We'll engage it. We'll handle any issues that might be on hand, whether it's permitting, whether it's issues with the towns, if you have a complex issue, whether it involves conservation or anything that could come up between land surveying, engineering, from design to the build out. One-stop shopping, Jerry. One call does it all. It's an old adage, but that's what we're going to do here at Bethoney Builders. You call us, 781-898-8018. It's turnkey here. We're going to streamline it. We're going to get you the most efficient costs, save you a lot of time and probably a lot of aggravation. Let's get your ADU built without wasting your time or your money.
I like that. One call does it all, ladies and
There
gentlemen.
we go.
Exactly. One call. Love
So
it.
that-
Love it.
What do
I
you think, G?
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. And Chris, some of the things in Sophia, like some of the things when you talk about different obstacles, some of them are, you would think be very simple, right? There are some towns who have things such as, you couldn't have a shared driveway, right? Well, that's kind of hard to have as a bylaw when you have ADUs going onto properties and things like that. So there's a lot of towns that are trying to get caught up.
Mhm.
There's simple fixes, but it just takes time, right? It's just
It's
a
a
process.
trial and error, Jerry. It's as much
Yep.
as it is, it's basically creating, it's creating almost in a lot of cases when it's a detached ADU, you're creating a situation which is multiple dwellings on one lot, essentially. And people had great questions at the center on Thursday. Folks were
Yeah.
asking, well, how does it work if I put a multiple dwelling, a detached ADU? And they had concerns about, I'm going to take all my capital and I'm going to put it into this ADU, and it's a family member that owns the home. But, people have concerns. What if, a lot of things that they brought up were great questions. We tried to answer them based on our 30 plus years experience of building in-laws and accessory dwelling units in communities that honored them previous to this by right legislation. So we share that 3 decades plus. We're not new to it. The concerns both on what they're building as well as how does it potentially affect their life. They're selling in a lot of cases, a larger family home. They're reducing the square footage on their living space. When they're attached, they want to maintain their own, identity of their living space. They don't want to impact the immediate family member in a lot of cases. They want to have a soft landing where maybe, there's a common space in between the primary home and the ADU. That's done by a breezeway or something similar with separate doorways that allows folks to be able to enjoy each other, but it allows them to be able to go and close a door and have their private space when they need quiet time, Jerry.
Perfectly said. And I think that's where a lot of this direction is heading, right? Is the ability to have the attachment and also the detachment from a privacy perspective, right? You want to make sure that you can maintain both sides of the family.
Sure. But I'll tell you one thing that was brought up that was very consistent, and shout out to our customer and longtime supporter, Bill Steller of Hanover, Massachusetts. He brought up a very important point. Bill is, of retirement age, and we built his in-law for him, I believe, back in 2000 and I got to say 17 or 18, and it's attached with a breezeway. The benefit to that is, as he had said, he's able to be not only with his son and his daughter-in-law, but he's able to be with his grandchildren. And he says
Right.
that in itself is amazing. He's been able to spend a lot more time with them because he lives adjacent, and the relationship has grown so much because he's been on site with them every day, essentially, and seen them grow from little ones up to teenagers and older.
Oh, wow. So grandparents and grandchildren can be closer to one another because of these ADUs.
It also helps out for babysitting, right, guys?
Oh, of course.
What better way?
You're right there.
Well, what better way? And it's one thing babysitting, on a full time or extended time, but it's also just simply if family members. What if they have to be out of town for the day or they have an unexpected errand? It's great to have your immediate family there to be able to help out if the children are coming home from school or what have you, Jerry.
It's all about convenience, right? That's the name of the game, right? Is the convenience aspect of it. And I think for a lot of kids who want to take care of their parents, they want them close by. And I think a lot of the parents who have, grandchildren or want to have first floor living and want to be just close to the family in general, right? It works both ways, and it's a win-win, for both sides when you decide to do this type of, accessory dwelling unit perspective.
Well, it was surprising as you mentioned this. I thought of it, and shout out to our good friend, Donna Wood at Sotheby's in Duxbury. Shout out to our good friend who invited us as a guest to the center, and that would be Christine Daly from William Ravis in Duxbury. Top shelf agents, familiar with them. They do a great job in the community. That's my professional opinion. With that being said, they were pleasantly surprised and happy with us. We gave them an idea of entry level price points, and on a approximately 600 square foot unit, they were pleasantly surprised to see that those price points can start just in the high twos, 200 plus thousand, low 300,000s, to be able to have a brand new build out of a 1-bedroom unit that was attached. They were pleasantly surprised. Again, that is a starting point, but we're very good. Before we engage anybody for services, we give you a fixed price, we stick to it, and we stick to a timeline. And with that type of build out, that project is done within 60 days, Jerry Levitt.
Only 60 days.
And that's a key point, Chris, right? I mean, the options, you can build these to the nines. You can make them fully custom. You can do whatever you want. You can have more simplistic builds. And I think that's one of the great things that we certainly provide, right, is the fact that we work with you. You work with Sophia and yourself to do the design. You work along the pricing points. So, there's a lot of great advantages to it, and it's not, it's not out of reach, right? You can build it the way you want to live in it.
Well, you just said, Jerry Levitt, like you said, it's not out of reach. The cost to have that brand new structure built when you start getting up or down in around 300,000 to start on such a fast timeline and a controlled budget moving forward. We expect to do a lot of them in 2026. We're excited. I know that Sophia, Jerry, and yourself, the orders are on the desk. We're going to get through this, vacation week for kids and families, but right in around March 1st, we'll hope for this weather warms up a little bit. We're going to start the first of 3 ADUs. They're all 600 square feet. The designs are different between the 3 of them, but we're ready to go. And one of the biggest projects we're excited to get underway here is Sophia's project. I'm going to let you tell her, what is it, Sophia? What are you going to do here in 2026? What's going on?
I'm working on a project called Sophia Bethoney's ADU Blessing.
Okay.
And I'm looking to donate a 100% labor and materials accessory dwelling unit home for a veteran in need.
And we've identified that veteran. Shout out to Alan.
Shout out to Alan.
We're excited. I hope Alan's listening. He's a big supporter. We're honored to be involved with Alan. We're excited to do that project this year. We will be setting it up so people can contribute if they want to donate to help that cause, so we can be successful to do that. But one way or another, that unit is getting built in 2026. Shout out to Alan.
It is.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Jerry, what can you update us a little bit on what are your thoughts that you think that can really enhance Bethoney Builders LLC here in 2026? We're going to work hard, keep getting out there. We have a full schedule for work, but we want to expand and continue to attract new customers so they give us a shot. We want to service as many people as we can here in the South Shore as well as through Massachusetts. We have a lot of people here that want to work. We want to keep them busy. How do we take care of our customers, Jerry?
Gary.
Chris, I just lost you there for a second. I apologize.
That's okay. No
How do we
worries.
take care of our customers, I think, is what you're talking about, right? As far as, building out the program. And I think, one of the great things is that you go on and you look at reviews and people see the feedback that they have with respect to your quality of work, timeliness, on budget, all the other great things around craftsmanship. The word spreads. And I think, word of mouth is always good because people want to understand and talk to somebody who has experienced, working with the organization. So I think that's a big piece. I think the other nice thing is, as we continue to expand and get out there more and have conversations and people understand the flexibility working with Bethoney Builders and Sophia and the design and all that, I think they understand it's a family business, right? And that's one of the big things that helps drive, working together. It's not a ginormous company. They get to work with you and Sophia principally, and that one-on-one touch is a big thing.
Sure. Well, one thing I want to mention to anybody that's called me in the past 30 days. Shout out to you. We're very good. I answer my phone. We get out for timely appointments. I got to say, between weather, storms that have hit, as well as the travel that we did following the New England Patriots for a little extra fun time that is now over. It's now back to business. We're going to make sure you folks are taken care of. I'm catching up on all my calls. Going to double back. There was a few appointments that I had to reschedule, whether it was storms that hit or travel arrangements, but we want to make sure you're taken care of. So if you're listening, you can expect a phone call. I know tomorrow is a holiday, if you would. I have something needs to be taken care of on Tuesday, but I'm going to be really working the phones hard, guys, Wednesday morning on. Make sure we do not forget anybody and our customer base is serviced correctly, Sophia.
Absolutely. And to add on to those reviews, I would say I've heard a lot about Bethany Builders and their cleanliness,
Correct.
not just at the end of the project, but throughout each stage. Because obviously people, they might be still living in their homes during this construction process, and they want to make sure that everything is safe and clean.
Well, you just hit it, Sophia. Cleanliness equals safety. I'm sure we've all seen it. Unfortunately, I see projects when I'm out and about. I do not judge others. I'm focused on what we need to do. But that's one of the biggest complaints we hear. While folks out there's a lot of companies, I believe, we support other companies. We hope they're doing great work here in the trades, taking care of the community. Again, at Bethany Builders, we're grateful for the customers we service. We want to see other companies in the trades do well. We're just hopeful they follow some of the, what we feel is simplistic things that need to take place. Keep your job sites clean and neat, keep them organized. That equals safety. Unfortunately, I happen to see we all on social media, things happen. It's an industry where people can have injuries, but we've been thankful we have not had those issues. But, do not rush. Follow safety protocols. Do the little things well. Keep your sites neat and clean, and it'll be a profitable job for you and a successful finish for your customers.
Completely agree.
There we go.
Jerry, do you have anything to add to that?
No, absolutely. And I know firsthand, right? When, Chris, you guys did the work on my house every day. At the end of the day, it was time was taken to make sure the place was clean, vacuumed, swept, nothing left out and about, no wood on the floor, just getting ready to come back for the next day. So I know personally, that approach that you take with respect to job sites and how important it is.
Jerry, what I kind of laugh as you say that, because first of all, thank you and Karen and your family for entrusting us for that opportunity and ultimately becoming a team member of the podcast and far beyond, a team member of Bethany Builders. But everybody that's involved in the podcast, including our guests, shy of a few building officials, only one building official, them or their family are actually past customers of Bethany Builders. Go figure.
Great point.
I think about it. Shout out Mike Christofoli, Hanson Building Commissioner. Shout out Andrew Stewart, Marshfield Building Commissioner. Mike Giampetro, former Millis Building Commissioner, principal at Mass Nailett, teaching continuing education. We're surrounded by talent everywhere in the building trade. So a shout out to all the members at SMBOA, Southeastern Mass Building Officials Association. They do an amazing job. Sophia, we're beyond blessed. Let's thank our sponsors as we see our times winding down. But before we do, anybody's interested in a building remodeling project here in the South Shore or throughout Massachusetts, my number direct, 781-898-8018. You can find us on the web at www.bethoneybuilders.com. You can locate us on Facebook, Bethany Builders LLC. Give us a call. We want to earn your business here. We're going to treat you well. We're going to get your work done timely, affordable, stay within budgets, time frames. We'd love to earn your business, but our motto is that if we can't do that, we're grateful to earn your friendship. Check out the Bethany Builders podcast. Takes place live on WATD 95.9 FM, Tuesday nights, 7 to 8 p.m. That's a regular. And Sophia, why don't you thank our sponsors here, and we'll let Big G have a few words.
We would like to thank Northeastern Savings Bank, Truck Stecking, Koopman Lumber, Connor Hegney's Auto Detailing Service, 95.9 WATD, ADU of Massachusetts, and Bethoney Builders, LLC.
Jerry, I'm going to have you say a minute before we do that. I do, again, one last time on air, want to congratulate our daughter, Sophia Bethoney, and my wife, Olena Bethoney, who both secured the Mass Construction Supervisor's License designation unrestricted. Sophia, in fact, it's been proven and vetted that she's the youngest in the history of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to sit for the exam, be vetted, get an opportunity to sit for the exam, pass the exam, and now possesses that license. So congratulations to you. Let's give it up to her, Jerry.
Amen. All right. Great job, both of you.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Jerry, do you have
Thank
any
you so much.
closing words?
Yeah, Chris, I mean, I think the most important thing is, if people have questions, they should just call, right? Your number is 781-898-8018. There's no cost or anything to have those types of conversations. They have questions. They just want information, time frames, towns that do service, right? It's a simple phone call, and they should just pick up the phone and do that, get their questions answered, and see what they want to do.
For sure. Well, Sophia, we cannot thank Jerry Big G Levitt. Can't thank him enough. Jerry, you're an absolute rock star, both as a professional realtor and a full-time assistant here at Bethoney Builders. We're proud to have you. You're not only a former customer, but you're an incredible friend. 2026, sky's the limit. We're excited to see all our friends and past customers throughout the South Shore. Sophia, in closing, what are your thoughts? What can you share with everybody?
I think that this is going to be such a great year for in general, but also for construction. Again, call Bethoney Builders at 781-898-8018 if you're interested. I'm so excited to be starting my Sophia Bethoney's ADU Blessing project. That's going to be coming up very soon.
Supporting our veterans. Shout out
Supporting
to
our
Alan.
veterans, and thank you to all our veterans
We're
for their
so
service.
excited to do that. The other thing I wanted to ask you, though, too, is we cannot forget, shout out to Jesse, our engineer. He's an absolute rock star. He's always with us on Sundays from 12:15 p.m. to 1 p.m., and he tends to fill in to our other rock star engineer, Larry, which you can hear on Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. We need to shout out to Ed Perry and to Jackie over at WATD 95.9 FM. Without that, none of this is possible. And folks, if you're listening and watching, we hope that you're enjoying the Bethoney Builders podcast. We love doing it. It's been great response. I think people have really enjoyed it, but please pick up a telephone or text if you have questions. You want to be part of what we're doing. Again, we're running that opportunity for other businesses throughout the South Shore in Massachusetts. If you want to advertise with us, get on board, support the cause of what we're doing. We're going to try to make it very reasonable to do that. But most importantly, it's that we hope you share the similar values of what we are. It's all about putting our customers first, really having a great reputation in the community. But if you're one of those businesses, which we know there's many of them in many fields, reach out to us, 781-898-8018. We want to hear from you, and let's see if we can get on board. You too could get on our platform, be able to shout out to our customer base as well as your own, and continue to grow with us here at the Bethoney Builders podcast. In closing, Sophia, you take us out. But before we do that, Big G, thank you as always. We appreciate you.
My pleasure.
And you always make that hour much special.
Thanks, bud.
Closing up.
Close it out, Sophia.
Thank you so much for listening to the Bethoney Builders podcast. I'm your host, Sophia Bethoney. I want to thank my dad and our principal builder, Chris Bethoney, and our Bethoney Builders teammate, Big G. Thank you so much for listening.
Shout out to Mama Lena Bethoney, who's always here, works behind the scenes. Shout out to Jesse for another great production. Guys, we couldn't thank you. Thank you for listening. We hope to see you Tuesday night, 7 p.m., 95.9 WATD. Bethany's Builders podcast. We'll be back on Tuesday. Thank you very much.
See you there.
Bye-bye.